My name is Henery Winter.
And it's too obvious that you don't need to spell, right? What is your birthday?
My September 28, 1928.
Where were you born?
I was born here in Freeport, Illinois.
Hmm. So it's your hometown.
Yes, it is.
Tell me about your family when you were growing up here. With your siblings, brothers and sisters, if you have any.
I've only had one brother who's passed away now.
Hmm.
My dad worked for the railroad, and my mother worked in the grocery store, just to make house payments and buy the food, you know. But jobs were plentiful then.
Plentiful, yeah. But after the Great Depression, it was really hit hard, right?
Yes, my parents down there lost their house, but my grandparents loaned her some money or borrowed some money for her so they wouldn't lose their home.
And you were very young, so you didn't know much, right?
No, I was very young, yes.
So, when did you graduate high school here?
I graduated in 1948.
Freeport High School?
Freeport High School, yes.
And did you know anything about Asia at the time?
Just what we learned just in the history books. You know, when I took history, a little bit. Not a lot, but,
Did that history book talk about Korea?
I can't remember Korea. I remember China a lot,
Mm-hmm.
That was very important, yes.
Yeah. So you didn't know much about Korea, right?
Not about Korea until after the war, after the World War One,
And what did you do after 1948 when you graduated from high school?
Well, I got a job working at Kraft Foods store here in town, which paid pretty good. It was a pretty good job, so I grabbed it. It was union, and I got a job on a heavy gang, which paid more money than just a regular worker. So yeah, I did all right. I was happy.
And what happened after that?
Well, I joined the National Guard.
When?
4 years before I went in Korea, over to Korea. Let's see, 46?
Yeah.
I think in 1946 I joined the National Guard.
And so you came to know that the Korean War broke out, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And when did you join the military?
Well, I was, like I say, I was in
National Guard
for 4 years, and then the government called me in.
Yeah. When was it?
In 1950, I think in 51, the latter part of 51. And they put me down at Fort Benning, Georgia, and they put me in a heavy weapons school down there. And they trained me.
Yeah.
And when I got done there, they sent me out to California to Camp Cook.
Yeah.
That's where the 44th Division was. And of course, they kept me there, and I was training them in heavy weapons, which I was trained in. And I got a promotion to sergeant there. And after a training time, when they called me, they wanted me to go to Korea. So that's when they took me up to San Francisco and got my overseas shots and all that stuff and put me on the boat. And
when was it?
I think that was the beginning of 52. early 52, in February or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Early part.
And did you go to Japan?
Went to
First.
Japan. I went to Korea, and then they put me on a train,
Yeah.
and they sent me to an American Army base there. And there they gave me a rifle and 5 rounds of ammunition and took me out to a rifle range to zero in the rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And then give me all the things I needed and put me on a boat, send me up the Yellow Sea to Korea.
So you landed in Incheon?
Yeah.
So before you left for Korea, did you meet with your parents and your brothers?
Yes. Before
By the way, what was the name of your parents?
my dad was August Winter,
Uh-huh.
and my mother's name was Frances Wilkie Winter. And my brother's name was James Andrew Winter, James A. Winter.
Your father's name is very interesting.
August,
Winter.
yeah,
So the summer and winter.
yeah.
Wow. He is greedy. He wants to have everything.
Yeah.
August, winter. I'll never forget. So you told them that you are going to Korea?
Mm-hmm.
What was the reaction from them?
They didn't have any reaction. They just said, "Be careful." That's about all they said,
Yeah.
It,
So tell me about Incheon that you first saw. Hold on,
what
Henry.
we did,
Henley, you didn't know anything about Korea, right?
didn't know nothing.
Right.
I didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
They said, "Was you scared?" Scared? I wasn't scared. I didn't know what to be scared of.
Right.
I went over there innocent.
And now you are the Korean War veteran. You fought there.
Mhm.
So I want you to think about this whole thing. Why you were there, and what is Korea to you? What is the first image of Incheon that you saw?
Well, first of all, when we got to Incheon,
Mm-hmm.
they made us climb down these rope ladders and put us on a landing craft, kind of the water, I guess, was shallow, and they couldn't get us up to the land, so they put us on a landing craft. And we got down and they took us in to shore and then dropped the front and let us out. Then they marched us down a road a ways and put us on trucks and took us to different places. So we were all replacements. We didn't go over there as a whole unit.
Mm.
We went over there as a replacement. And of course, we didn't know where we were going or what it was. And when I found out where I was going, they took us, and we were training with a unit, because we was going to replace a unit online and on Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh.
And it was going to have to do it at night, so the enemy wouldn't see us coming and knowing that we were a new unit, because they naturally would know that we wouldn't be prepared and they would take advantage of us. So we had to do it all at night.
So from Incheon you went to Heartbreak Ridge? That's a long
Well,
trip.
no, not straight.
Uh-huh.
We had to go to a repo depot to get where they wanted us, because we all wasn't going to the same place. We were just replacements. They didn't go over as a unit, whole unit together. We went over as individuals. And some went one place and some went one other place. Whatever the divisions needed replacements, that's where they sent you. And of course, that's where I ended up with the 160th Regiment.
And what was your unit?
They sent me to the 160th Regiment, 160th Regiment
Uh-huh.
of the 40th Division,
Yeah.
and I was in Fox Company.
Uh-huh. What was your specialty?
When I first went in, I was a machine gunner.
Mm-hmm.
And after a period of time, they promoted me to the platoon sergeant, which I was in charge of all, the mortars and the machine guns.
So tell me about the battle there in Heartbreak Ridge. That's one of the most toughest battle line during the
Yeah.
Korean War, right?
It was a tough one.
Yeah, please tell me the detail because this
Well-
interview, students will listen from you.
The way it started out was, of course, it was at nighttime, and the enemy shelled us all that afternoon, and the night before they cut the barbed wire in front of us, and that night they lined up in front of us and they blew a horn and shot up a flare before they came up the hill, which I thought that was surprising for them to let us know that they were coming. But they were shelling us so bad that we couldn't hardly stick our heads up. And they made it up the hill, and some of them got behind us, and some of us, they got all around us. But we got them, ran them back down the hill. It was quite a battle.
Were you scared?
Yeah, yes, I was scared. I was nervous. I don't know if I was scared. Yeah, I guess I was. Yeah. They'd come running at you, and you wasn't sure who they were, if they was your men or them. So you had to be very, very careful who you shot at. It was tough. It was the first time I was ever in a straight battle like that, and
Were there many casualties in your side?
quite a few. They had the bodies laying over there. We lost 60 men, but that wasn't all that one night. But we was praying for light so we could see what was going on, because that night, that's the only time they attacked. And of course, when it comes daylight, they're out of there, because we got superiority over them. And I could see that they laid the bodies over, laid them down in a pile there. And it wasn't a very pretty sight.
Any other major battle episode that you experienced?
Well, that was a main one.
Oh.
But we were getting shot all off and on all the time. They were shelling us all the time. You never knew you never knew when you could get up and walk out or run around or anything. You had to always be on the safety side.
Yeah.
Because they were always shooting, and you never knew. Just like I got a picture in there. There was a pair of twins from the Quad City, Illinois. Whatever, I got it in there. They were conscientious objectors. So what they did is they drafted them anyhow, but being that they were conscientious objectors, they put them in the medics, because they wouldn't fire, they wouldn't kill. So consequently, they sent them over to Korea, and one of them was a medic of our company, Fox Company, and his twin brother was a George Company. That's the Jason Company. So like I said, they shelled us all the time, and this one time, not more than maybe from me to to my wife over there, 20 feet.
Really?
They dropped a round in, and they got the medic and Fox company, our company, knocked him down there, and he's laying there. And of course, we didn't have any medics, and that's the only one we have to our company. So what they did is the company commander called George Company. That was his twin brother, and he come running over, and he said, "Who's got hit?"
Wow.
He said, "There he is," and he ran over, and he rolled him over, and he says, "Oh my God, that's my brother,"
Oh.
and he was dead. You know.
Do you remember his name?
I've got it here. My wife has got it. It's the twins. We got the. Then they put it in the news, and somebody cut it out for us. It begins with M. Nick.
Wow.
And when I got back, I tried to call his brother to talk to him and tell him, that I wanted to see him. And I could never find him. I don't know where he went. And the brother, if he went, because a lot of people move when they come back. They didn't come back to the same area. They live in different areas.
Ritz. Erwin and Edwin Ritz.
Beg your pardon?
The two medic, the twins. One is Erwin and the other one is Edwin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Who was the one who died? Edwin? Yeah, Edwin
Yeah, I
died.
believe it was that one. Yes, that sounds familiar.
Wow, must be very hard for everybody to witness that
Well, things like that, that goes on all the time.
all the time.
Somebody will get hit or get shot or something like that, and it's something that you really never get used to, but
It happens so often so that you become like
Yeah.
accustomed to it.
yeah, just like that. Just like the one guy said up there, he says, 8 fingers, 2 thumbs. You all got to go when the wagon comes. So, the wagon came from him,
What do you think? Your fight and your sacrifice, do you think it's been wasted?
No, I'm proud of Korea.
Why?
South Korea. The way they accomplished, they did so much. They accomplished so fast. They grew, It's diplomatic. It's great, And there's. I'm proud of them. Really, I'm glad I went.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason.
See, that's the point that we need to teach our young generation, that your sacrifice and the death, the heroic, death of Edwin,
Yeah.
never been wasted because Korea came out of beautifully here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in fact, I have a granddaughter who went to college was it Indiana? And when she was in college, she had 2 Korean students over there that came over for schooling.
Mm-hmm.
And she got to be so friendly with them. When they went back, she went back to South Korea to finish her education. And after she's over there, she's teaching English now.
Yeah.
She's been teaching English over there in Korea.
What's her name?
Henery Winter.
And that's your granddaughter.
Yeah, and she likes it.
And she's still in Korea?
She's still in Korea,
Ah.
and she's teaching English.
Boy, we're going to bring 30 history teachers in July back to Korea from here. And I hope that she can. I wonder if she wants to join us for dinner some night. So I will give you my business card, okay? And you let her know. I think she will love to see the history teachers from the United States.
very possible.
Yep.
You know, I don't know how tough her schedule or anything is, but it's always a possibility.
Yeah, she will have time for dinner.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Make time.
So, any other episode that you want to share with me when you were in Heartbreak Ridge? You can talk.
When he got wounded.
Oh, how you got wounded?
Well, ran out of ammunition one time.
When was it? You remember the day, right?
I can't remember the date, but the enemy was starting up, coming up, and I was fighting him, and I ran out of ammunition, and the Katusa was with me, wasn't there to give me some ammo, so I got up and was running to get a couple boxes of ammunition. When a round hit right in front of me, and shrapnel hit me in 3 different places and knocked me down.
Wow.
And I was deaf for, I couldn't hear for another day or 2. But they patched me up, and I came and they put me back up online. I got 2 promotions while I was in Korea. I went from sergeant to sergeant first class to master sergeant, which is as high as you can get. And that's hard. Then they're hard to get. The master is always hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
And I got that in Korea. And
Were you treated in the MASH unit or in the hospital? What happened?
yeah,
Where?
the MASH. MASH. They put me on a helicopter, and they took me to the MASH unit, took me in down there, and patched me up and everything. And next day they sent me back up. See, there was a shortage of men, and a lot of our equipment was still World War II equipment.
Were you able to manage that right after that treatment in the MASH and then go back to?
It all depends how bad you are. You know, I had stitches here on my legs and on my arm. You know, and you could see that, you know, and they needed help.
Tell me about the conditions where you lived.
Where I live?
Yeah, where you live, what you eat, and so on.
What now?
No, during the Heartbreak Ridge. Where did you sleep? What did you eat?
Well, we slept in the trenches.
You slept in the trench?
Well, yeah, we didn't have nothing up there, you know. We had a sleeping bag and a blanket.
Did you have a sleeping bag?
I had a Army issue sleeping bag.
But still, that should be, oh my goodness, that's very cold area.
Yes, it is, but you're out of the wind. It ain't bad if you're out of the wind.
Because you are in the trench.
Yeah, because the wind, you're out of the wind.
Uh-huh.
And let's see, what do we eat? We eat rations.
All the time?
Most all the time.
No hot meal.
Very rarely, unless you could go down to the rear for Scotia, what they call Scotia R&R, and that's just go down there for a day.
Scotia arena.
Yeah, Scotia. And
Compared to the trench, right?
right.
Yes.
We hot meals. Oops, so.
What about shower? How did you clean yourself?
Once every couple of weeks, they would haul you to a shower point to the rear someplace, and you go in there and they give you new fatigues or clean ones, and you get a clean shower.
What is the rotation interval? How long you were in trench and then go back to the rear?
Oh. I don't know, a month.
Month?
You need to take you back for a rest, for, you know.
For how long?
Scotia R&R.
R&R for how long?
Well, just one day in our Scotia R&R.
Just one day?
Hmm?
And then go right back to the
Line.
trench?
Yeah.
Oh boy. How much, I mean, when you were in trench, were you able to brush your teeth?
We had water.
So you did?
Canteen,
Uh-huh.
water, yeah, we did water. You know, to drink and brush your teeth and wipe your face off.
That's it,
But
right?
yeah, but you couldn't take a shower.
You must be very smelly at the time.
Oh, yeah. Especially in the wintertime.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
it was so cold up there, it was terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Do you still remember that you're sleeping in that trench
Oh, sure,
in the winter?
yes.
So you were winter and you got the winter there, so
Right.
double jeopardy, huh?
Yeah, we had few people who froze their feet, you know.
But you survived because you winter.
Yeah, that helped. I was used to it here too, you know. But, you know, it gets cold here too,
Yeah.
but not that cold.
So-
We had a lieutenant replacement come up, and he was they sent him over, and he wasn't over a week, and he froze his feet, and they had to ship him back.
Yeah. So it depends on individual. There, yeah. What is the most difficult thing for you to be there? If I ask you one thing to pinpoint, what was the most difficult thing for you?
Well, there's different times and different things, but surviving that winter was terrible.
Right.
That was awful.
Tell me about it.
Well, because, you know, it's, you just couldn't get up and run around, and it's hard to, you know, do anything. And then once in a while, somebody gets some charcoal, and we get some charcoal, you know, we could warm some food up occasionally. That happened once in a while, but we didn't have charcoal all the time. You know, every now and then somebody would get some charcoal, and boy, that was a luxury.
Were you married at the time?
No, I was single.
Single, and did you know your wife at that time?
No, I didn't.
No. So whom did you write the letter back?
I I didn't write a lot, but I would write occasionally to my parents.
Hmm.
You know, I sent them, when I went on R&R to Japan, I sent them a telegram that I was safe, healthy.
That's it.
That's about it. And when I wrote a letter to my brother after the battle on Heartbreak. I wrote him a letter and says, "Don't tell Mom and Dad, but I don't think I'll make it back alive."
Oh,
I was so scared that, you know, I figured when they could come up the hill and get behind us and run around us, it wasn't very safe. So I thought I'd let him know. That's when I guess I kind of felt sorry for myself too.
do you still keep that letter?
No, I don't know what they did with the letter.
Hmm.
I got the telegram that I sent my mom. But I don't know what, my brother died and I don't know what they did with his stuff. But I asked his children if they still had that letter I sent them.
Could you go beside him? What is your name? What is your name?
Virginia
Virginia
Winter.
Winter. Sit right beside him. And then just hold it right there. And I think you... And I want you to show these things to the camera, okay?
Sure.
Henny, I'm going to videotape together with your wife.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, this is,
Hold on, I will ask you to do those. Virginia, why don't you introduce yourself, your name and the relationship and when you married to him.
Virginia M. Adrian Winter.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in nurses training at the time, and we were praying for all the guys over in Korea.
Huh.
And we didn't know it at the time, but I was praying for my husband-to-be.
Mm-hmm.
And
So did he tell you about his
I'm the only
war
one.
experience?
I'm the only one he ever told.
Huh.
He never could talk about it.
Why you didn't talk, Henny?
Well, it bothers me so much to talk about it.
Hmm.
You know, I got PTS.
PTSD.
Yeah, and I had a when I got back after a while, they sent me to what do they call them, psychiatrist. And I had to go over and see him every so often. And when I talked to him, and he wanted me to tell him this and that, and that night I'd have nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't like to bring it up. It's just like, you know, when I go to I can't stand to go to the 4th of July celebration, because when they're firing firecrackers and stuff in the air,
Mm-hmm.
it bothers me so bad. It just feels like I'm getting shelled again.
So how did you meet her?
Well, when I was home, and a friend of mine says, "Just go out and have a beer." And I says, "Well, middle of the week?" And he says, "Yeah." I said, "Well, okay, I guess I will." And we went out, and it was middle of the week, and there wasn't many people around actually, but she was out with a couple of her friends, and that's how we met.
So beer was the.
It was automatic. It was just like,
He was celebrating his homecoming, and I was just out with for a night away from the nurses for a while. And we danced that night. He came over and introduced himself and asked me to dance.
it was automatic. It was an automatic deal. I mean, he wasn't like, "Oh, I wonder if I like her, or if I don't." It was an automatic.
So when did you marry?
I fell in love. And
That night we went down to Maid-Rite here in Freeport, and we talked a lot.
And then when did you marry?
He asked me for a date, and then we got married in 1954
54.
yeah,
when I graduated nurses training.
And when did he begin to talk about his experience as Korean War? When?
well,
He put a hole through our bedroom wall
one night.
and he was having a nightmare,
Uh-huh.
and he put his fist right through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And that was actually on our honeymoon, during our honeymoon phase yet. And so then he told me what was going on. And so he started to talk about it. But I was the only one he ever told.
So how did you feel when he was fisting around and
I was scared. I thought, oh my Lord. Who did I marry? You know?
Yeah, right. You didn't tell her, Henny.
You know, I didn't know I was that bad off.
Yeah.
You know, but you know,
Maybe because you have now person who you can rely on, trust. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I went to work and I kept busy. You know, as long as you're keeping busy, it helps a lot. You don't
And then we had
you don't
children.
keep thinking about the war, or don't keep thinking about this or that or this, you know. So, but I had a lot of good times during the war. I can't ever say I didn't, you know. I enjoyed the Korean soldiers, the Katusas. I enjoyed them. They were nice people, nice kids. You know, they're just like us.
This is a picture of one
So let's talk about the picture, okay?
bridge, 38th parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And he's with a machine gunner, and he's teaching this Katusa.
So when Henry began to talk about his sufferings in Korea, what did you feel and how did you actually deal with that?
Well, when he got to talking about it, I realized why he was having the problem that he had, his nightmares and everything. And we were both so busy though that I was working as an RN and he was working for his brother James in the construction company. And then we had a baby right away in 9 months, and then we had 3 more, and I think all the activity and working and everything kept him so busy that it helped him.
Yeah,
In that sense, it helped him.
Did it? Did it help?
Yeah,
Mm.
I think keeping busy and working, that keeps you.
Andrea, try to use microphone whenever you guys
Oh,
talk
okay.
to each other. But this okay. And then, so, Andrea, do you know about modern Korea? How Korea doing now?
Oh yes, we get pictures from our granddaughter over there, and it's beautiful.
Tell me about it. What does your granddaughter talk about Korea?
Well, they're so wonderful to her. She takes the bus, and she teaches all the children English now. And the parents give her, they have a special day, and they give her gifts, so many that she can hardly walk back to the bus to take them back to her apartment. I mean, they give her Chanel and everything.
What does talking about Korea as a
She
whole?
loves South Korea, and she has friends. One of them got married, and they go on vacations. They do go down to the sea occasionally when school's out, and she has wonderful vacations with her friends. She has a bike, and she bikes, and she does not own a car though.
Is she in Seoul?
She's in Seoul, Korea.
And what did she talk about Seoul? Is it big, modern, or
Oh yes,
anything?
it's modern and wonderful, and the food, she loves the food, and they go to restaurants, and they have these flowers everywhere, and everybody treats it with such respect. And Henry, whenever we've had ministers here, we've gone to churches for lunches, and they've had some South Korean ministers, they bow to him. And her girlfriend in Korea sent us 2 ducks that look at each other.
Yeah.
And that was to give homage to Henry for his service. And that was from her best friend's parents.
So give it to Henry, please. Henry, now your granddaughter Andrea is in Seoul, and she is the beneficiary of your fight, right?
Yes.
Because you fought for the freedom, and she is enjoying there.
Oh, yeah, she thinks the world of South Korea. Yes. And they treat her. I said, what did the people, when you travel around down there, what did they think when they see you? Well, nothing much. Always, they know you're a foreigner, American. And she says, well, yes. I said, that don't surprise them? She says, no, it surprises them when I talk to them in Korean. She says, she knows Korean fluently.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she even writes it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She's been over there.
Does she have a family there?
No. She's
Ah.
been there how long? About 4 years?
Now at least.
At least 4 years.
But when she teaches the children English, she cannot speak
Right.
anything.
She
yes,
shouldn't.
or she will be fired.
Exactly.
Right.
we don't want her to speak in
When
Korean.
you're in the room, yeah,
She cannot speak Korean.
she can't speak Korean. She's got it.
This is wonderful to see your younger generation is there in Korea, and that exemplify
Yes.
what happened to Korea and what is the legacy of your service.
Right.
Wow,
That's
this
very-
is great. This is great. If she speak Korean well,
Yeah.
and my foundation wants to work with her in some movie project, so please connect connect her with me, okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
We can do it, she's on Facebook.
Yes, please do that. And I'll
I could even call her.
I'll send you the picture and you send that picture to her, okay?
Okay.
All these pictures that I've been taking. So, Henny,
Yes.
you don't regret, right?
No, I don't regret.
Yeah.
No.
And what do you think? Why do you think it happened to you that the country you never knew before, you went there, fought. Now, that country, your granddaughter is very pleased with. What do you think of the whole thing?
Well, sure a lot has changed, you know. I never, coming from a small town and, you know, I never made it in college. I never made it, which my daughter did, and granddaughter. But in my, you know, when I was young, most people didn't go to college. Only the ones that come from a wealthy family and was a doctor or a lawyer, and they had their son become a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But, you know, I come from working parents, and of course that's, you know, that was my job, get done and get to work and do something. But seeing how what happened in Korea, how things have changed, and my daughter, my granddaughter over there, boy, it's a world of change. You know, it's really hard to believe how, you know.